Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Monday Memo. Now, as accountants and finance professionals, we're expected to have great attention to the detail that goes with the area when we're looking at the numbers, right? And it's a big part of our training, but what if we're paying attention to the wrong things and so limiting actually our ability to make a meaningful impact at work and in effect holding ourselves back from having more rewarding and successful careers in finance? I mean, a couple of recent conversations I've been having with aspiring finance professionals got me thinking about an experiment some of you might have heard of, the invisible gorilla. And for those of you that have not seen or heard about the experiment, there were some researchers who played a video for some unsuspecting viewers and invited them to count how many times a basketball was being passed between players. And halfway through, a person in a gorilla costume walks through the middle of the players, even gives a little dance. And what the researchers discovered was that even though most of the people who watched the video were able to count how many times a basketball was passed, 40% of them failed to see the person in the gorilla suit at all. They didn't even know the gorilla walked across in between all the basketball players. Now, psychologists have termed this phenomenon inattention blindness or perceptual bias, which is an important impact for financials who are constantly focusing on the details and the numbers, because those of us who fail to see something right in front of us whilst we're focusing on something else have a lower, what they call, working memory capacity. That is our ability to focus attention when and where needed and on more than one thing at a time, which means it all becomes impaired. Now, I don't want to wish to cause alarm. Working memory capacity is not our long-term memory, like remembering the facts, the dates, or our training. Instead, it's the amount of information we can process in our working memory at one time. The tasks we're dealing with right at the moment, those type of things, like trying to solve or reconcile an account or remembering to update a financial model in a particular area. Now, however, even though we should not be too alarmed, the phenomenon is still important for us to be concerned about, because if we're so busy focusing on the details and the numbers in front of us, many of us may actually fail to notice the broader implications of what we're looking at to add value or reduce the risk for not only our organization but also for our careers. And I've seen this pattern repeat or play out in the number of bright finance professionals and highly capable professionals who range from the experienced, who say they're frustrated that their careers aren't progressing as fast as they'd hoped, perhaps they're going sideways or they've stalled, all the way down to the analysts and associates who are worried about job and career security as cognitive computing technologies get even better and start doing more of their workload. So what can we do? Well, sometimes knowing what not to do is actually as powerful as knowing what to do. So first, don't keep worrying about looking out for the unexpected. You'd only drive yourself mad. And secondly, there was actually a follow-up experiment called Monkey Business, which found that even when we know that when we're doing a task, there might be some unexpected things happening, that doesn't suddenly mean that we're going to notice those unexpected things. Instead, we should probably take a bit of a judo approach and turn this inattention weakness or blindness that a lot of us actually are susceptible to into a strength. Like by that I mean, if we invest the time now after listening to this podcast to write out what our ideal job outcomes look like, and every day we look at that list, and I've been doing this for years, right? We'll then start finding our attention tuned into those things that we enjoy most, but also the things that add value. Because if we don't have anything in that ideal job description that's going to add value, then it's not really going to go anywhere. So what you need is to have a job description that's got areas where if you do them, you'll not only enjoy them, but offer some value back to the business. It's a two-way win-win. So that means when we're going through the details of the numbers, we're then constantly looking out for ways to add value, not only for our organizations, but for our own careers. And that's a very sustainable way for us to develop, but also for the benefit of our organizations too. And it does come back to sort of finding win-wins. I mean, if you're working late at night at period end or quarter end, they're a drag. So be on the lookout for opportunities to reduce the time it takes. We've had podcast guests on the show that have actually, described how they've improve their month end and quarter end time frame so they could go on and do more valuable things. And those sort of win-wins I've been touching about or mentioning is, whether it's the promotion or the ability to work in a new business area or an opportunity to get better at compliance or controllership activities or get involved in near the front lines, being more on the commercial deal making side of things. The thing is, we've the skills across our profession and what we've learned to actually figure out, well, financially anyway, what our organizations get in return for our salaries, our roles, the tasks we do. So, for whatever you're looking to achieve, put yourself out there and know what opportunities you need to be paying out your attention for. I'll give you some practical examples and ideas to do this in an old Monday memo, number 11, on how you can evaluate your impact and results with a career bone diagram. And that's also why we invite finance guest mentors onto the Strength in the Numbers show, because they share with you their hard-won lessons, their stories that they've experienced when they've been trying to drive value in their organizations, how they've had those career journeys, the bits they enjoyed and perhaps didn't enjoy so much, and the benefit of putting all their training into practice, becoming more influential, solving meaningful problems and helping their businesses, departments, other departments even, create more value for their organizations. So look, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please let your friends and your colleagues know about it. We're on all the major platforms, iTunes, Stitcher and SoundCloud. And look, thanks for investing your time with us today. Really appreciate it. And until next time, take care of yourselves and let's keep on building our strength in the numbers.